Listener discretion is advised. It's time for another Steel Revolution podcast.
Playing Steel Revolution's podcast.
Please keep in mind that the opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the individuals, and they do not reflect any official view of the United Steelworkers, USW Local 105, or its officers or sub-board members for officers.
Hello.
Are we on, Sean?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Well, I'd ask you to get up.
Okay.
I'd ask you to get up, but I don't know. With the technical difficulties we're having today.
Yeah.
There we go.
Now we're
All
on.
right.
It's official.
Okay.
Lights on.
Now Pat can talk.
Oh man, I had something to say. No, I don't. Oh, do you have surprises planned? You said something earlier.
I thought about it.
You got
Depends,
something? You got something ready to go? You
maybe.
got a little surprise.
It's nothing fancy, but maybe.
Oh. I was excited for a minute. Welcome to Steel Revolution 134.
1, 3, 4.
Thanks, Sean. I'm Roy Hutt.
Sean Guy.
Oh, see,
Cut you off.
Set him up perfectly,
Yeah.
and you cut him off.
On purpose.
I know.
Sean Geisens.
Go ahead, Michael.
Pat Stock. Mike Nicholas.
Lee Schaefer.
Oh, thanks for joining us today. Big show today. We have
It
we got some guests coming in for an interview. The organizers of the 53rd Street Starbucks is going to be joining us later today, and I'm going to be talking to them about organizing that Starbucks. Pretty excited about that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah.
So
Just stay grounded, okay?
Oh, jeez.
That's a coffee joke there.
Oh, was it?
You-
I couldn't tell.
I knew some of those were going to be coming today.
We'll talk about it later.
Latte?
Yeah, see, that didn't work.
That didn't-
Is that what you were trying?
I was trying for that, yeah.
Ooh. Man. And I thought you were on your game today. You came right in.
Well, Lee came
Blazing.
after me, man.
Yeah, that's what he does. He's the bully of the office.
I don't think so.
We all know it.
Moving on to the events calendar.
Grande.
We have some Christmas in July events coming up.
Yeah, we do. So, everyone knows we do our Christmas baskets in December, usually, to help those in need or that usually can't get a meal. And we always have a hard time trying to get all the donations at one time. So, we thought we'd try to do it a couple times a year now. So, what we're going to do is a couple events here. I'll talk about the first one. It's going to be a 50-50. We're going to have a 50-50 drawing. For the month of July, every Tuesday and Thursday, we're going to be selling tickets up by the cafeteria, like where the Women of Steel do their bake sale, from 5:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. You can buy tickets. We'll have the drum up there, and you can drop the tickets right there in the drum. Tickets are 1 for $5 or 5 for $20. The winner will be announced on August 2nd. We plan on having more than one winner, and just trying to. We'll figure that out once we know how much we've collected. So, kind of looking forward to this. See how it goes.
And then to add on to that, to help the Christmas baskets make a little bit more money, the Next Gen Committee is going to put on a poker tournament on July 12th. Doors open at 6. Play starts at 7. Your buy-in is $35, and that also gets you burgers and dogs throughout the evening. So,
How about donuts?
not going to have donuts there that night.
Sorry, Lee.
That's okay.
So, next, the board and the membership just passed our drive-in movie. In years past, we've had our Christmas movie. Not going to be able to do that. Haven't been able to do that for a couple of years. So, our president had the idea to go to the drive-ins. We have the Bluegrass Drive-In Theater. We're going to have 2 weekends, 4 screens each weekend. Probably the end of August, early September, we'll be getting some information out in the Forerunner once we get the dates lined up. But look forward to that.
I mean, excited to bring something new, to
Yeah,
the
that
membership
is.
and to be setting some new stuff up. Leaders of the CAT team, so Tony Peck, Genaro Gomez, and Paul Meyer. I was about to say Robert, but most people may not know them by that. So they're working hard down here, setting up solidarity events to run from now until contracts. So they've got some new ideas for some new events for us to go to. So they will be getting stuff out in the Forerunner and be lining stuff up here coming up. A bucket collection just happened for GM Chad Nissen, raised a little over $3,000 during that bucket collection. So thank everybody that donated. Pat, you've been in contact with them?
Right before coming in here, I got off the phone with Chad, and he's very appreciative. He said it's the best news he's had in a long time. So hopefully Chad gets well soon, gets through this issue, and then be back to work. So thanks to everybody that donated. Much appreciated.
Rounding out the events, really, the golf tournament, the Union Golf Tournament is on August 8th. Be there at least by 8 a.m. The shotgun starts at 8:30. It's 4-person best ball, $200 per team, and we are taking the registration forms now down here at the hall.
Oh, this is the worst looking hat I ever saw. Well, you buy a hat like this, I bet you get a free bowl of soup, huh? Oh, it looks good on you, though.
Reminder, the 2026 contract ends at 12 p.m. May 16th of 2026. That's 695 days away or 99 paychecks. If you save $50 a week from now on, you'll have just short of $5,000 saved for contracts.
Save.
Yeah, start saving
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. New players here, like we've always said here in the past, and just don't know how, well, you don't really ever know how it's going to go, but these are certainly people we have not negotiated with in the past.
More question marks.
Yep.
These guys than ever.
Absolutely. So Pat and I attended the healthcare meeting that we're supposed to have twice a year. We're down to about maybe once a year now. It's where we're able to get some big issues handled. We also hear the stats of how we've used the insurance and the different vendors over the past year or two. We did talk a lot about long-term disability. We're learning more about it, as well as we did get the stats from CVS, Blue Cross, and I believe those were the two main ones. But the main thing that I took out of the meeting was that healthcare costs are flat for all our members over the last 2 years.
Yes.
So when the company comes to you and says healthcare costs have skyrocketed, that's not true. We have the data. They are flat right now, and they look to remain flat over the next couple of years. So
Yep.
All right, and then another reminder, we said this last podcast, but I think it's worth saying one more time. Reminder that your dependent children have insurance through the month that they turn 26, or continue if they are unmarried and not capable of self-care. So remember, they got insurance through the month of their birthday.
Yeah, didn't we have a question? Someone recently, it's through the end of the month. It's not your birthday and then
correct,
you're done.
yeah, definitely through the end of the
Yep.
month.
On the safety front, it's hot out. I know there's some concerns on heat stress, Mike.
Yeah, so we just want to make sure everybody's staying hydrated, keeping cool. Some things we need to know are your ice machines staying cleaned? Are they being filtered correctly? Same with the drinking fountains, as well as the ACs in the break rooms in all your cranes.
And bathrooms.
Yeah, and the bathrooms that have them. We did have a stop the other day in a crane. The AC wasn't working. The supervisors did not know how to handle it, and luckily we had a few mechanics that noticed the signs of heat stress on the operators, and were able to get them down safely and get it taken care of. But again, we are our brother and sister's keeper. We need to make sure that we know the signs of heat stress, and we can recognize it in each other and try and stay hydrated. And when you're at home, try and rest as much as you can, because it's going to be hot from now on.
Can you tell my wife that, please?
I will absolutely tell her
You
that.
can give her a number.
That it's hot or you're hot.
You know, I need some sleep at home.
Well, he's hot. I can tell.
Shut up, Lee.
Don't worry, Sean, she has it.
Thanks, Mike.
You don't get to rest at home, buddy?
I got kids, man. Man. My wife.
Have them do
dog
all the
and-
work.
I'll have my wife call you next. Yell at you. That's what she's going to
So a normal Friday.
Right.
She won't yell at you.
Well, I don't know if you want Lee talking to her. You know, Lee just likes to put people down.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
Yeah, I know he does.
The 105 bully.
Yep. Yep. Nobody does anything to Lee but try to support him.
Right,
and be
I know.
nice.
Help him.
And
I know.
help him.
Yep.
We help him with his issues, and all he does is make fun of us and bully us.
Make funny.
You made fun of me.
Even when he's not here.
It was
Yes.
a legitimate question.
Okay, let's just move on.
Make him. Tried to bring him in, include him, welcome him into this podcast, giving him segments and everything. And this is how he treats us.
Yeah, I know. There's no bullying going on.
Oh, no.
I was about to talk over that. I forgot about that extra.
That never gets old.
No, it never will. Mike, you were talking during the business meetings about taking tools out of service that need to be repaired or replaced.
Yeah, absolutely. If we're gonna, if you're using cutting tools, really any tools with banding, anything out there, if you notice they're not sharp, they're not working like they should anymore, and that goes with anything. We need to
Hang on, you talking about Lee still, or
a not sharp tool.
That's really
sorry?
No, we absolutely need to take them out of service. We've had some injuries lately that have been caused by tools that probably shouldn't have been used. So if you see it, take it out of service. We also need to have our safety reps be going around and looking at these tools and taking them out of service. But we can always get new tools. We don't want people getting hurt.
Thanks, Mike. The committee person and board meeting is July 11th this month. Business meetings are the 16th. Reminder, get your attendance records ran after you call off either FMLA, short-term disability. Make sure you're keeping track of that. And also make sure you're keeping track of your paychecks. And if you have any issues, get a stub to one of us or your committee person or your steward so we can take a look at it, make sure you're getting paid properly. The Women of Steel group are selling tickets for their wine, booze, or beer basket, and you can get them from any of them. In the plate mill, Tanya Clark, Amber Hartford, IPS, Letitia Gambleton, Leanne Hughes, Maria Sims, Chelsea Johnson Rolling, Dina Tyson, and Sabrina Lira. Raffle tickets are 1 for $2 or 3 for $5, and all proceeds go to KSI and Rough Life Dog Rescue.
How did they spell rough? RUFF.
Yep.
Thank you.
Was that the proper way on that?
Yeah. Well, it is the dog days of summer, so.
There it is.
It's not getting any
Yeah, I
better.
don't know if
It
that's-
is not getting any better.
no.
Doggone it.
There you go. And reminder, people have family coming into town and that. We do have a discount at the Clarion Hotel.
Yes, Clarion Hotel, Bettendorf, Iowa, $55 a night. If there's severe weather, you can't make it home, or any other reason for that matter, check in there, ask for the steelworker rate, and you'll get a room for $55 a night.
Yeah. Usually if you're south or north of here, that's where the severe weather hits.
Yes, that is a fact.
Yes.
I'd say close to like DeWitt and Galesburg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny it.
Yeah, it's weird.
The two worst areas.
It's like the tornado alley of the Quad
It just
Cities.
tends to stay away from the west end of Davenport, right?
That's where Lee's from.
Is that where Wang's from, too?
Weston Wang.
They're brothers.
Yeah.
Don't buy into it, Sean. I'm
That's
not
it.
from the West End.
That's what we call League of West End Wang.
He stole your name?
If anything, Pat's from the West End.
He's a West End Wanger.
This is going off the rails
Okay,
quick.
this is how we're going. huh?
Quick.
Is that what they call people that follow?
Wangers?
How would I know?
Because you're from the West End.
I have never
You
bought
know.
anything from his website.
You have to.
Have you?
know. Yep. My son has.
Okay.
Wow.
Why don't you ask him?
Stickers. Well, we're not from that side of town.
I'm
we
not
had to
either.
order the stickers.
Lee can just pick him up from his house.
Exactly.
He just goes next door and picks him up.
If anything, Pat's from the West.
He says, "Hey, Wanger, can I have some tickets?" Isn't that the first name basis you guys have?
That almost sounds like his legion of followers.
Wangers?
Yeah.
Might be.
Lee's probably the leader.
That's what I said.
First of all,
He's the leader of the wingers?
Yeah.
if anything, we all know what I'm talking about here is Pat is the true follower. He has shown people
The way?
Weston Wang's
The way.
videos.
HR had no idea.
Wow, we're really, really in the ditch.
Yeah,
Oh,
I can play this all day.
I bet you can. See?
So can we.
Everybody listening can see how you bully us.
I know.
retirement can't come soon enough.
You're not lying.
So if you're able to retire and you need some help, Dan, our office manager down here at the hall, is your go-to resource for when you're going to retire. His hours are 6:30 to 2:30 Monday through Friday. Again, he is your go-to resource for retirement questions and issues. Before you just stop by the hall, please call, set up an appointment with him. Make sure he's going to be here and he's got time for you and he doesn't have anybody else in here. When you want to come down, retirees, you get $175 worth of union merchandise when you retire. You can select whatever you want down here at the hall.
It's a lot of T-shirts.
That would be quite a few T-shirts.
A lot of
You-
pint glasses.
Yeah.
We do have more than just T-shirts and pint glasses.
I know that.
Okay.
I don't know why you said that to me. Like I didn't know.
Would I want that many pint glasses, Lee?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
you want that
can-
many T-shirts?
Well, you could always
No.
use a T-shirt.
Okay.
You could always use a T-shirt.
Yeah. You can always use a pint glass.
Looks like
Well,
Lee
that
could
many
use a couple today.
Who?
You. Oh, hand shot, I guess.
Come on, man. I'm over here working.
Sean's minding his own business.
Thank you.
It's natural.
Yeah.
Natural.
Your first year of SOAR dues are paid by the local, and we can help you with your intent to retire. It has to be turned in 3 full months ahead of your retirement date, which you can only retire on the first of the month. Those SOAR meetings are the first Thursday of each month, starting at 1:30. And a reminder that Iowa no longer is taxing retiree income. All right, I guess that's about it. We'll
Get to our interview here. Save this thing.
well, before we go to that, I didn't have it wrote down because we penciled it in when
That
we were
is
discussing
correct.
it.
That is correct.
So we do have a new hire class that is coming in on July 8th, and we do have some plant-wide postings up for bids. So the plant is filling some holes, and ones that we got holes all over the place, but the smaller departments feel the burden more when somebody's not there, and the goal was to fill them up as much as possible, plus a couple other areas. So the plant decided to do a hire group, which we believe is the right thing to do. Now, they've said they don't look to hire much in August or September, waiting to see how the end of the year and first of next year looks, but
Did they just decide? Or I think there's a lot of persuasion going on.
yeah, that's
took
true.
some- yeah,
That's
it took a
true.
while.
Yeah.
That I would not say that yeah, you're right, Pat. They did not just decide. It took a few months of constant
Pushing.
Yeah.
pushing and bringing up,
Yep.
we need people for this to happen. You're right. But there is some people coming in. There is some postings up for people to bid within the plant, and there is no talks of any layoffs. So just know the rumor mill is churning that out pretty hard, but that does not seem, it's not on the horizon anytime soon. Here comes the interview. All right, joining us on the podcast today are organizers of the Davenport 53rd Street Starbucks, Alexis Miller, Braden McClurg, and George Strader.
That's right.
I always get worried about the names. So, sorry.
You did great.
These are really easy compared to some.
Yes.
So thank you guys for taking time out of your day and coming down to the Union Hall. We don't get very many in-person guests, so this is a treat for us, and we're super excited to have you on and to be able to talk to you.
Our pleasure.
Excited to be here.
All right, so our usual icebreaker is always trying to get to know our guests. So tell us a little bit about yourselves. Do you come from a union background, and what was your role in organizing Starbucks?
Well,
I probably should have said a name, and then that would
oh,
have
no,
made
no,
it
no, no,
smoother.
that's fine, that's fine. I'll go first. This is George here, and for me, I grew up in a union household. My father was a teacher, so he was heavily involved with the union growing up. And for me, I always had the utmost faith in the union to help provide for our family, and that was something that my father instilled in me at a young age, was the strength of being involved in a union. So about, what did we say, 2.5 years ago, is that right?
Yeah.
2.5 years ago, we heard about what was happening in Buffalo, New York with the first Starbucks organizing, and that kind of lit a fire in all of us, or at least a core member of us there at the Starbucks, who said, hey, we need to seriously consider this, because we would noticed a decline in hours and other things, as well as safety issues at work that weren't being addressed, and we figured the best way to raise our voices was to do it together. So ever since then, we were pretty diligent about educating and working with the rest of our coworkers to point us in the direction of organizing. Took a while, about 2.5 years, but we finally got there.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. That's the whole thing I always thought of when I got a union job was I know I can provide for my family. That's what I wanted, So same thing, and that is a good radio voice.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, Alexis.
All right, yeah, I'm Alexis, and I did not come from a union background like my family wasn't, but I was born and raised in the Quad Cities and always knew about the general presence of unions around here, and that's been really cool since we unionized, just to see everybody support us and get in touch with us and be like, oh, we love you guys, good job. So that's been super cool. And yeah, I remember one day, 2.5 years ago, I got a text from one of our old coworkers, Caleb, that was just we're talking about this and we're really gonna do this now. We're gonna do this now. And I'll just never forget that moment. And from there, yeah, that was the first core of our organizing committee. It was George, me, Caleb, and then our old coworker, Katie. And that was before Braden, you moved here. So.
Yeah, so I'm Braden. I'm from Colorado, so I moved here about 2.5 years ago. So I was not involved in the original drive. I was not at the store at that point. But once I got to the store, one of Alexis and I's first times seeing each other outside of work, she talked to me about what was going on and what they were trying to do with the union, and I was super on board, super happy to hear about it. And then just things happened where it didn't work out at that time. So the second time around when we really got into it, I became more involved, and here we are.
All right, awesome. Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So I guess you kind of hit on it a little bit, but is there any more you can talk about on how that really started, your group, and how you got to the ultimate goal of getting the union there?
Yeah, there were kind of two separate instances of us trying. Like I said, 2.5 years ago was the initial run, and then back in November we kind of picked it back up. But 2.5 years ago, we were all just complaining about the same things. All of us, just every single day we were at work, we're just man, we don't get paid enough money, man. We're not getting any hours. Everybody's always I don't know how I'm supposed to live like this. And that really laid the groundwork for our fight, was just trying to address those issues. And to make a long story short, we had our manager leave, and in the midst of that, that's when we kind of stopped our efforts the first time. And not to jump around your questions here, I feel like I'm just kind of hitting on a bunch of random points. But yeah, it just kind of fizzled out, and then back in November, if anybody wants to discuss.
Yeah, for sure. Back in November, like she said, our first manager left, got a new store, we got a new manager. He was super great, but he just, like all of us, he kind of got burnt out, and he stepped away. We got a new manager, and he ended up being really horrible. He only lasted about 2 weeks. He kind of snapped. It was a very interesting situation. And I got home one day after dealing with him, and I called Alexis and one of our former coworkers, Caleb, and I was like, something needs to change. We need to do something about this. And yeah, so I was like, we need to get serious about this again. So Alexis had already been talking to our organizer, to our rep.
We kind of kept in contact the whole time, and like just sparsely. So we still had like people at Workers United that were there for us the whole time, but we just kind of in that meantime just fell off.
Yeah. So picked it back up, and we were super determined this time around, and here we are.
So how many employees then work at the 53rd Street location, and then is the unionized workforce just the baristas we would see that me walking in would be in contact with, or does it go further out than that?
So at the time of our vote, we had 17 of us working there, and that includes baristas, shift leads. The only person it does not include is our store manager. But just walking into the store, most everyone that you see on the floor will be a unionized worker.
And
our
we
manager,
do love our manager.
Yes, we do love our manager. We love her.
We know we're not supposed to like her.
You will.
We do.
She does work on the floor with us, so you might see her. But she is the only one who is not technically part of our efforts.
I would also like to mention our manager before her, Michael, was actually very pro-union and actually stimulated a lot of conversations with us baristas on the floor about how we needed to take initiative. And it was one thing, there were a lot of complaints. Everybody had their issues. But with some of these younger kids, we needed to enforce in them that you don't take action, nothing will change.
Well, Starbucks, in my humble experience, roughly like 6 years of working there, and the quality of life at that job has only gotten worse, and it will only get worse, like, unless something is done.
Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of already talked about it a little bit, but what was the driving force behind organizing?
We got a couple bullet points here in our little notes.
Okay.
Prepared.
Yep.
Well
prepared.
Like, mention the like turnover of managers and like our treatment from management that like during our very like rough period back in November, they kept a lot from us, and they just like were super secretive, and like there was clearly something going on and nobody would communicate anything with us. And that just like really didn't feel great.
It really messed with our minds, because we were constantly getting like our district manager sitting in our store and managers from other stores kind of like observing us, and we could tell that they weren't happy with some things, but they would never outright tell us like if we were doing anything wrong. And so there was a lot of frustration between all of us just talking and being like, if we're doing something wrong, tell us, please. So honestly, that really like drove us all closer together, because we were just kind of like, what is happening? So we were like, we're all in this together. Like, so that was a big thing, is like the way that we were kind of alienated from management.
And George, would you like to discuss my favorite story of the puddle?
The puddle of, what was it, 2023.
Let's take you back.
And earlier.
It spanned over a year.
As you guys know, safety is a big concern for all employees, and for, I'm sure for steel workers, it's even more so. But for us baristas on the front lines there, we had several facility issues that would pop up from time to time. And one for the past, I've been with the company for 5 years, guys. For the past 5 years, our store location had a massive leak coming from one wall that would create a gigantic puddle that would basically stretch the whole floor where we were working. And we would complain and we would complain. We would bring up the issue and nothing would get resolved. Our manager would play it down, just say, hey, mop it up, let's move on. We knew it was more than just something that needed to be mopped up. It needed to be addressed. One day, a barista falls flat on her back. And that's when we said enough's enough. I called OSHA and basically just said, how do we go through the process of filing an official complaint? And they kind of walked us through the steps. And ironically enough, we did not have a manager at that point, but a visiting manager stopped in, noticed the puddle, and I said, "Don't worry, I've already called OSHA, we're good."
Good for you.
And
You just turn around and walk out.
Not
like,
more than
nope.
not more than a half an hour later, I believe our district manager was showing up to mop it up. Guys, why didn't you tell me about this?
She's like,
Why
you guys need
didn't
to
you-"
contact me directly.
Yes.
Wow.
And guys, she had walked in
She
there
did.
for the past 5 years and seen this puddle. She'd seen it develop over the past 5 years. So it was just a little bit of gaslighting, from the district manager that really said to us, okay, we need to do more than just call OSHA here. We need to get back on the horse. We need to become more aggressive and determined to unionize this store. And that was just one of the safety issues that popped up. But yeah, the great puddle of 2023.
I would just
Boy.
also like to say it was not just something that we even could just mop up. It was like standing water basically to a point. And so it was like impossible to even try to clean up. And then we would try, it was coming from the bottom of the wall, so we would try to like put rags there to stop it, and then they would say, you can't do that, it looks bad, you guys can't put the rags there. So they knew it happened because they were telling us not to put rags there so that customers wouldn't see it and think it looks bad. And I'm like, well, I think the puddle looks worse.
Right.
That's what I was gonna say.
So can I ask what came out of your OSHA complaint then? Did they come out?
They took immediate action.
Good.
It was within 24 hours that they actually addressed the leak once and for all, discovered where it was coming from, ripped out a wall, found out where the pipe was. They just finally did the job we'd been asking them to do. And for me, I use that as an example with some of the younger kids as to why it is so important to have somebody putting standards in place and maintaining them and keeping the company in check. I said, guys, this is just an example of what happens when you organize, when you take action. And I kept stressing to them what was going on in Buffalo. And I kept stressing to them that ever since, 2 years, when Buffalo disrupted the system and started filing for unionizing, we started getting benefits out of nowhere. They raised our base pay to $15 an hour. They started bringing back all sorts of little incentives that we didn't really necessarily care about, but something to brighten the mood and oh, we're not a bad company to work for.
Well, that's also how we got credit card tips. We've been
Yeah.
asking for that for years, on end, and that was how we got that.
They finally put it into place. All of the issues that we normally put in on pulse surveys. Pulse surveys are issued once every 2 weeks to all Starbucks employees. And they take survey of all the things that, you feel are necessary to make the job more enjoyable, more productive. And once they finally started putting that out, for 2 years, guys, I would post in the comments, we're going to unionize. For 2 whole years. Not a response. And that's when I said to myself, they're not reading this.
No, they're not.
They don't really
Right,
care.
right.
This is just all surface level. And I always joke with people, I'm like, I'm surprised they didn't see this coming. Because I wrote them a note.
Right.
You told them it was coming.
I said it was going to happen.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, so their listening skills could use a little work. Or at least someone needs to check their emails.
What were some of the challenges you guys had in organizing?
I think we can all agree education. The big one.
That was definitely our biggest
Education.
hurdle.
When we were meeting yesterday to chat, I described it like anybody over the age of 30 was inundated with anti-union propaganda, whereas a lot of our workforce is 18 to 30-ish, and everybody in that age range just doesn't really know what unions are. They just kind of don't know. There's just such a lack of education there, period.
Yeah, it was disturbing to me because, like I said, growing up in a union family, I always understood that we were protected. We always had somebody watching our backs and making sure that my dad was able to provide. And for these younger kids, it seemed to me as though the education system had failed them in instilling the value of unions. I mean, you learn about the labor movement of the past, but don't realize it's still here in the present, and it still needs to be nurtured. It still needs to be upheld. And I think for some of these younger guys, it was, union labor 101 when we first started with them. And thankfully they were receptive and listened, which for me was shocking, because some of these guys won't listen to a damn thing I say when I'm in charge.
Yeah.
But boy, oh boy, when we talk to them about increasing their wages, ensuring they have benefits,
Oh, you bet.
they perked up, which was great to see. But boy, 2 years of
It definitely took a lot of repeat conversations
Oh,
over
yeah.
and over again to really make sure everyone understood and actually knew what they were getting into and was excited about it all, instead of just a lot of people at first, when we first mentioned it, were just kind of like, yeah, we have these issues, but
Meh.
what can we do?
That's
Yeah.
how jobs are.
That's just
Somebody
how it
did
is.
Tell me that's just what
Yeah.
your job is. It just sucks and it's gonna be terrible.
It was difficult getting people to realize that they actually can do something to make a difference and make a change, and to realize that I think a lot of people thought that it would be a lot of work and thought that it would be too much, and I get it, our job is really exhausting, and so they didn't necessarily want to have to think too much outside of it. But after all these conversations, and luckily we were able to have these conversations at work, I'm really happy with how everyone is and their level of knowledge and excitement for it now.
So, did you guys get, and I know you said there was a lot of anti-union propaganda, but from managers or anything, did you get a lot of pushback on that at all from the company in general? Any
you want to know what's great?
captive audience meetings or anything like that?
Our original manager, who had been working for close to 4 years, she would say occasional anti-union things, to which I would shut her down. Your ex-husband is a part of, I can't remember if it's UAW or which one he's a part of, but her kid has amazing benefits, health benefits, because of the union. And I'm like,
Right.
I'm sorry, you don't get to say a thing
No
negative
kidding.
about the
No
unions, as you are there benefiting
Right.
from a tremendous benefits package from your ex-husband. I'm like, I'm not gonna allow. I was very good at shutting her down. She still needs to be shut down. She's still out there saying anti-union things, and it's disturbing to me. But yeah, I held my ground with her a couple of different times, and I just couldn't believe the irony of her having anything harsh to say about a union when she was and her child were fully benefiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
To also say, Starbucks has terrible health insurance. So.
let it be known. Let it be
Yes.
known. The health insurance is not the best. But the sad thing is too is the pay isn't the best. So when you actually sit down and you talk to the workforce, you learn a lot about corporate welfare.
Sure.
There are people who can't afford the horrible insurance package, who are on state-assisted health care right now. And in this country, it's a big concern of how many people are on the welfare system. Well, in my opinion, there's only really one way to address that, and that's to talk about the minimum wages that a lot of people are earning at their jobs. And I know I'm thankful to unions, because every time they push for a new contract, no matter what industry they are, they're raising the quality of life for everybody in that community.
Yeah, you bet.
Everybody, by improving the standards by which everything is set. So for some of these younger kids who I was talking with, I'm just like, hey, listen, you want to make more money? I want you to go try right now to ask for $20 an hour. I want you to go sit down with your boss and have a serious conversation about you making $20 an hour. I want you to stress that you can't afford your way of life right now because of working here full time. I want to stress that you can't afford the benefits package for healthcare because of the lack of pay. And I want to see what their response is. I want to see what management says to you. And they're just like, well, they're not going to give me the raise. I'm like, well, what if all of us went in at the same time and said, we demand a raise,
Right.
or we're going to walk? What do you think's going to happen then? And they just kind of perked up. I'm like, I've got your back, you got my back. Let's go in there and let's make this happen. And they're like, we're going in there now. I'm like, no, we're going to unionize. We're going to organize. That's how we're going to get this done. So rough conversations to have with some of these kids, especially because they're really down on their luck. But I think it opened their eyes. I think so.
One of my biggest talking points to some people who I had previously talked to, but they didn't necessarily understand or they weren't fully on board, was asking them, why doesn't Starbucks want us to unionize? What is so bad for Starbucks if we unionize? Like, what is that? And so for them, I guess, realizing, oh yeah, well, I guess they don't want us to unionize because they would have to treat us better and they'd have to pay us more. And they don't want to do that because that affects their bottom line. And I think that helped get through to some people.
Mm-hmm. Now, you bring that up on the difference in the age, and didn't think about that, but I could see where, tell me if I'm wrong, it might be easier to take somebody that has no knowledge, like a younger person, and try to persuade them on why it's good. But the 30-year-olds that you said already were kind of against it, that to me would be the ones that you'd have the biggest or the hardest time trying to persuade.
Yeah, those set in their beliefs for sure. Yeah, those are the ones you struggle with.
I mean, if
We
you got those
didn't have
guys,
too many, truth be told.
okay.
Yeah, we really, like, most of us are younger, and I like to think, like, a lot of us are pretty left-leaning in our ideals. So it didn't take a lot. Again, it was just, like, getting them to think for themselves about it, I think, and to get them to, like, really internalize why they should want this for themselves and for everyone around them.
So if I got my research right, didn't see a lot on this, but so the vote to unionize took place May 14th. So since then, what's been happening?
I'm happy to say that there has been no retaliation. Starbucks has learned their lesson over the past 2 years after making several mistakes with acts of retaliation, shutting down stores, targeting people, and essentially restructuring management in some cases to bring in, fully trained anti-union store managers. Luckily, Starbucks has learned their lesson, and right now, we haven't seen much of any retaliation except for our old manager, who is now located down the street, managing a new store, the same one who was anti-union despite receiving union benefits. She's the only one knocking us unionizing. And the rest of management has stayed quiet, which it has been ordered by corporate
And I do
to
want
keep
to
quiet.
reiterate, our manager is a sweetheart, and she
Our
really,
current manager.
Yes, our current manager. Yes,
Clarify, yeah.
We have not
Now,
faced
as of
any of
this
anything
Yes.
from her. She's
The
been
one
great
who
about it
writes
all.
the
wants the
schedule,
best. She
who
wants
gives
the
me
best
the
for us.
hours. She's awesome. No, I'm just kidding. She's awesome. She is awesome.
Well, believe us, there's plenty of our bosses that listen to this
Yes.
podcast
Yes.
when it gets posted.
Yes.
Yeah.
We like some of them.
Some of them we don't.
Yeah, there's
Some of them we don't.
definitely.
Keep them guessing.
Yes, that's right. You're right.
Always have a shadow of a doubt.
So, do you guys have a first contract at where's kind of that at?
Yeah, so mostly right now we are actively fighting for just like a master contract across the board. They did initially with like the first Buffalo stores start store by store, and negotiations, as far as I'm aware, were horrible, and it was not going well at all. And now there are over 460 Starbucks stores that are taking part in negotiations.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
Things
Oh,
are
I love that.
things are really looking up for us. We have our first round that we'll be a part of next week. They do both in person and virtual, so we'll be participating virtually, and it's very exciting. Yeah.
Wow.
So let me ask you a question, because you emailed back that you really wanted to talk about this master
Yeah, I was
negotiations.
Gonna say, I can read you the like basic spiel of our main points.
So, well, hopefully this leads into something you prepare. But so for us, we are part of a master too. So there's three other locations with us that we do a master. But then we also have local issues. Will you guys, is that kind of the motto you guys have, where you'll have some local agreements, and then you'll have the overarching master?
We, like I said, are just being brought into the fold of this. So I'm still like picking up on like everything where everybody else, like all the other stores, have been like in on this since the get-go. So I'm not 100% sure.
I do believe I remember
Yeah.
our rep telling us that we would get store contracts after the master contract, but that is something obviously in the future once we have our very first contract.
Because that's the big fight. That's
Yeah.
the thing we're really, really going for. And our union, like Workers United, that's like #1 priority, because this will inevitably be the biggest like fast food worker contract in America, to really like set a precedent for hopefully what's to come in the industry.
Okay. So I had another question, but you kind of answered it. So then do some of the first locations like Buffalo and that, do they have kind of their contract, and now this might replace it with the overarching?
I
Is
think
that
they might.
kind of what's going on?
Because I'm like picking up on this stuff as we have like these little like Zoom catch-ups, that it seems like they were able to like negotiate a bit on like dress code and like little things like that. So I don't know if any big stuff got hammered out.
Yeah.
Like I said, like the big stuff, I have this whole list of like the main big points that Starbucks is absolutely going to put up a fight for, but they're like the biggest concerns. So
Yeah, and that's one of the next questions. What are some of the issues?
I was gonna say already. So #1, well, I guess I shouldn't say #1. They're not in order of importance, because I think #1 we can definitely say wages and pay. But wages and pay is a very big one. I think they sent out like surveys to everybody about just like ranking things, like just generic points in terms of importance, and of course wages was #1. Surprise, surprise. Then just the right to organize, and just, you know, preventing like further retaliation, because right now the union and Starbucks kind of are like, they're okay with each other right now, but that doesn't have to stay that way, and there's nothing in place right now to prevent like retaliation down the line. Then like just a strong foundation of rights, health and safety, no reductions in benefits, which was also a concern of a lot of our coworkers. Like Braden and I, we go to like Arizona State through Starbucks, that they cover tuition, and a couple of our other coworkers do that as well. And so I think that was a big concern, was just like, we're absolutely like not getting rid of that benefit. That's the reason I work at Starbucks. Like, it's a big thing that keeps a lot of people at Starbucks. So definitely no reductions. High quality healthcare, like I mentioned, our healthcare isn't that good. It's very expensive. So definitely need to address that. Guaranteed and consistent schedules, because that is another thing that ties in with the wages and pay, that if you're not getting paid enough already, and then every single year after Christmas, your hours get slashed in half from what like little you already get. So.
And it happens earlier and earlier every year. This year it was even before Christmas. They were like, oh, cutting hours.
You don't need that.
You don't need
What do
them.
you need work for? What do you need money? And then expanded leave of absence and paid time off those are the big points, at least. And obviously we're definitely trying to fight for a better dress code, because like I know me personally, I would love to be able to wear nail polish at work, because all of the other cafes ever, they can do that, so why can't we?
Yeah, me
just,
too,
like,
boys.
little
That's my
stuff.
big one.
That's my #1. That's why I'm
Well, last question's yours, Mike.
So I got a question. This one kind of hits home for me. So, what advice would you give other Starbucks employees thinking about organizing their locations?
Have faith, yeah.
Yeah, I say the biggest thing for me is making sure that like whoever, you know, is inspired at their store and they want to lead this drive, I would say make sure that you yourself are educated, because again, education was our biggest challenge. So making sure that you're educated so that you can educate everyone else is a big recommendation of mine. Yeah.
For me, I've spoken to a couple other people at stores other than ours, and they are afraid of their manager. And I think that if you're in the position that you're afraid of your manager, like you absolutely should unionize and like further protect yourself from like whatever rampage your manager could be going on right now, like already without a union.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, my advice to anybody who's looking to unionize at this time is have faith. Have faith in yourself, have faith in your coworkers, and understand that you are hard to defeat if you stand together. And if you believe in that, you can see this thing through. Because there's no way they're going to take you on if they see conviction in your eyes. They're going to stand down. And having faith in the system, having faith in the union, having faith in the beliefs that influence your choices for what you want to bargain for, that's going to have a tremendous impact. So that's where I stand.
also specifically for Starbucks, just go to the Starbucks Workers United website and reach out to them, and they will very quickly respond to you, and they
Okay.
are so nice and so sweet, and they want to help you so badly. So please get in touch with them.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mike might know somebody.
I
but
might know somebody. We can talk. But
We'll talk after. But okay, so that was all that was there. So how about a little bit of more of a fun questions for you. So what's you guys' favorite drink to drink? It was that predictable,
Yeah,
huh?
I'm excited.
real
I love
curious.
that question.
Yep,
I
yep.
love it. Yeah.
So what's your favorite drink to drink? That's a Starbucks drink. What's your favorite one to make?
Ooh, good one.
Both answers are black cold brew.
really,
Nice.
Just make a black cold brew, and I love to drink a black cold brew. I have a yerba mate today. I brought tea, but I had cold brew earlier. Don't worry.
I am personally not much of a coffee drinker, but if I'm going to drink coffee, I like a brown sugar oat milk latte with cinnamon on top. Hot. I don't like iced coffee, which is controversial for my age group. Most people my age only like iced coffee. But my favorite to make is probably a flat white because I like making the little latte art on top.
For me, I like to drink Union Strong coffee. A dark cup of coffee with 3 shots of espresso in it, splash of cream, and unfortunately now my doctor has me on sugar-free vanilla. Yes, but that right there gets me through the morning, at least for the next 2 hours before I do it again. Yeah, and again.
There we go.
And again.
I'll cut you off.
That's
So
fine.
wait, you don't drink coffee at all, though, do you, Mike?
So I happen to know somebody, and she will bring me home the triple espresso with just a black coffee
Oh, yeah.
all
Yeah.
the time.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Oh yeah,
Otherwise, I don't drink coffee at all.
Yep.
yeah, yeah. I call it my
You drink
get it
coffee,
done
don't you?
juice.
Yes, yes, I agree.
Get it done.
Nothing.
Okay, so maybe it is. You drink coffee, Sean?
Every so often now, though.
Dude, I got to. It's like how
No.
you start your day.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't go a day without it at any capacity. Nope.
So like then even if I go someplace after, I have to have coffee first. And then when you guys don't have mimosas though, right? Not
I
yet.
wish.
Not
Oh,
yet.
that'd be nice.
Not yet.
Maybe in the back room.
That's the second thing, man. We gotta have that's in the morning. It's gonna be one or the other.
Yeah.
Why not both?
If you catch
Yeah,
me out,
absolutely.
I don't know if they mix.
Separately, but you take sips of the
Yeah.
cold, the hot, just get a little bit of both.
Not that adventurous.
Well, I will say this: if any of our listeners want to stop by and support us, if they order a Union Strong cup of coffee,
Most people will be like, I don't know what that is. If you tell me I can make it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
George just told you what it is.
yeah, Union Strong cup of coffee, in my opinion, is as dark as it can get with
Yep.
those extra shots of espresso and a splash of cream. That's it.
See, that's what I like. If I come in, it's like I just want coffee
Just a
black.
cup of coffee, please.
And
That's
then
my
I'm
favorite
like,
thing.
I
love
have to
that.
be the favorite,
Yeah.
but maybe not.
But we'll also make anything. We really
It's true.
will.
It's true.
So kind of along the same lines, you guys gotta have one that you hate to make. Is there one you don't like to make?
I could tell you, this young lady mobile orders almost every day, and I swear to God, it's like the book of Genesis when you get the ticket. It is a mile long with so many specific little modifiers to it. I believe it's like quad blonde espresso, 4 pumps, sugar-free
Some of those
vanilla.
aren't bad. See,
like-
my thing is like some of the mobile order drinks where like on the app they just let you go crazy. Like
Oh,
you
yeah,
just-
yeah, I've
you
seen
just
that.
do
Yep,
anything.
yep.
You can do
Yeah.
anything you want. And half the time I'll look at the sticker and I'm like, I don't know what part to start with. Like I don't know where to like.
Yeah, when there's so
start.
much on there, there's so much room for error.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
where do I begin?
The reason I asked that, my wife orders it's a breakfast tea, some type of tea,
English breakfast tea. Yeah.
and it takes a while to make, I guess.
Oh,
the
if it's like an
latte?
iced
And
one
when
or
she
something.
orders it, they know it's her
Yeah, yeah.
right off the bat because they tell her she's the only one that orders it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So every time, so that's why I was curious.
Well, I have a few people who order those iced tea lattes, which take the longest to
Yeah.
make, and I'll tell you what, we enjoy it.
Do you?
No,
I didn't think you did, but
he's easy.
because they sound disgusted sometimes. But I'll go through to order it, and they
Just
know
tell
who
her
it's
to
for.
call ahead. Tell her to
Yeah.
call ahead, so that way they don't have to sit for 6 minutes in the drive-through
Yep,
waiting
yep,
on us. Yeah, yeah, but that drink's pretty particular.
But at the same time, the lady with the big list, I bet, or the
Oh.
customer, whatever, I bet whoever they are, I bet they appreciate it. I mean, if they keep on ordering it, you guys must get it
We have
right.
so many regulars. We do love our regulars.
Oh gosh, yeah.
We do. We really do. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I just look at a sticker and I'm like, how did you even come up with this though? Like you picked like a specific number of a specific pump and like this specific modifier, and I'm like, I don't even in my head I don't even know how you came to
That's
this.
the third one over. That's the one.
Yeah.
I'm always concerned for our regulars who order for delivery and order like frappuccinos and everything. I'm like, that is gonna be melted by the time
Yeah.
it gets to you. You're gonna have like no
$20
coffee.
getting one drink
Yeah,
delivered.
exactly.
Yeah, so we always appreciate customers' patience with us because, over the past few years, Starbucks has opened a lot of channels for new business, mobile orders, deliveries, that you've got your cafe traffic and your drive-through. And we don't mean to brag, but we've done an amazing job in keeping up with the demand with diminishing numbers on the floor. Our labor is taking a gigantic hit, but we are still able to produce a good product, and we're somehow able to manage a connection to our customers despite the constant rush we go through. So obviously, we're doing the job they ask of us with multiple challenges. Now we're just ready to ask a little bit more of them.
Yeah.
And that's a commitment on paper. And we don't believe that that's too much to ask for. So hopefully we'll be able to sit down here in the future, guys, and talk a little bit more about how the contract is panned out, and hopefully have more good news for you in the future. But I would just like to say thank you so much for bringing us on here. Thank you so much for your support. And in the future here, if ever you need us, we'll be there in solidarity with you to stand with you.
That's awesome.
Whatever fight comes your
We
way.
appreciate that.
I really appreciate it.
That was a great ending.
Oh, thank you.
You stole Roy's thunder.
I wasn't quite ready, but that
We can edit this in post.
was a great. Sorry, man. You got to be start organizing out there on your own.
I think honestly
Yes.
we've inspired some people in our district to start talking, and I think we're getting more and more people every day who are curious how things are going, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see at least another store in the next 6 months go forward with it.
Good.
I've seen a tremendous amount of support from other baristas at stores reaching out to me online with questions and praise. I've even seen former managers of Starbucks patting us on the back saying, way to stick it to them.
Like at
Good.
least three different
Yeah.
ex-Starbucks managers.
Yeah.
People are going out of their way to come to our store to tell us,
That's
which is
great.
awesome. The community
Tremendous, yeah.
support has been overwhelming, and I think that is another point that I would tell other Starbucks employees at other stores is like, you have more support outside of the community, in the community outside of like just Starbucks people, and I think that's something that surprised me. So hopefully that's something that can inspire people.
Yeah, I think they need to take to note that this is a tremendous community, not just Starbucks Workers United, but all organized unions right now know what we're up against. And it's been tremendous to see some of I call them my UAW guys, down the street from John Deere. When they went on strike, we were out there bringing coffee, bringing donuts, and things like that. I even stood there and picketed with them a little bit. I painted my van. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
painted my van with UAW support, and we're seeing that tenfold returned our way. And every morning I come across a couple of my UAW guys who they stop by, they grab their frappuccinos after their third shift, and they're bringing them back to their wives. They're like, I wouldn't drink this, but
Of
this
course,
is for
of
my
course.
wife. This is for sure. You want an extra straw, guy? I'll get you an extra straw. Yeah, yeah. So, but it's heartwarming to see the outreach, and again, this is just another example that we're thankful for.
Okay, one more question about what's your favorite menu item?
It's cold brew. I just need it straight in my veins.
But,
Like,
I
that's
mean,
it. That's
food?
it. No,
Food
I'm
wise?
vegan,
Oh, food.
unfortunately,
Oh, okay.
so I can eat like a bagel and oatmeal. And when I tell you I eat those things every day, I absolutely do. But just coffee. It's
Okay.
just the coffee. Yeah. I don't even think our coffee's that good.
Wow.
I eat a bacon Gouda every day, but I have to cook it specially. I like it to be. I like to make sure the bacon is crispy.
Mm-hmm.
I
Nice.
put a little
Yep.
pepper
Oh,
on it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So I've got my little system. So that's my favorite.
So we can ask for the Braden sandwich, breakfast sandwich, and then the Union
There you
Strong.
go.
Union Strong Coffee.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite menu item, George?
Favorite menu item, if I'm eating, it's going to be the bacon Gruyere egg bites. Those right there, are just the right amount of food for me. Just 2 little pucks of eggs stuffed with bacon and Gruyere cheese. Cover it in some sriracha. I can eat that on my 10-minute break and go right back to it. So yeah, that's my go-to. Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, we got a food critic
Jesus.
with us, Lee Schaefer, and is it patented? So he's got a Schaefer scale that he rates food on.
Okay.
All right.
So here, when we in the podcast and we close it up, we're gonna have Lee put some Starbucks food that I saw Alexis this morning, bought some menu items, and Lee's gonna put it on the Schaefer
To the
scale.
scale. Yeah.
All
Oh.
right.
That'll be available on the podcast when it gets released later today.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Oh, so
very
am I.
exciting.
So am I. You're excited, Lee.
Yeah.
You are excited.
I will say, don't get your hopes up too much.
I never do.
Beautiful.
Good. Good.
Beautiful.
You got to
I
come into
love
the
our
setting
food.
with your hopes very low.
No, I mean, hey, I told Liz we were gonna do this, and she said, "Oh, you gotta have the lemon pound cake or."
Oh yeah.
I can't eat
so,
any of it.
So I think we got that.
Yeah.
They love to do these surprises where they bring in some.
Yeah, he was talking
Food,
about it this
yeah.
morning briefly, and I was like, oh, that sounds beautiful. That sounds
Yeah,
great.
you see how he doesn't appreciate it, but
Oh yeah.
okay. Me and Mike and Sean have been doing this for a while, and we brought him on, wanted to make him feel welcome, gave him 2 different segments of his own, and
Oh yeah.
and this is how he
know,
treats
This
us.
is, yeah. Everybody was bickering before we started recording, and now it's
It's
still
so
coming.
heartfelt. And, you know, it's.
I
can just tell.
feel at home.
I can tell the. You know, you don't know the love I feel.
Yeah. Some people demonstrate their love in various ways.
Oh,
I agree.
There are a
Right,
few different ways,
Absolutely.
right?
Well, I will say this. I will say that when I was up there, you guys at Starbucks is the friendliest Starbucks I've ever been in. You know, probably the ones that people are all frumpy, probably have bad managers, but you guys were everybody was in there was great. I'll go back. I would
We agree.
say everybody should go to that
I think
one.
we're the best
should too.
Starbucks, probably ever, but definitely in the Quad Cities. I love everybody that we know at the other stores, don't get me wrong. But I just love us so much.
Yeah, it is. There, without a doubt, we are probably the most upbeat, friendly environments Starbucks has to offer, and I really think it's even more so now that we're unionizing. We're coming together even more. The camaraderie has always been awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody always gets along, and we genuinely want to make sure that that shows up when a customer comes to visit. We want them to be a part of the fun, and we have a lot of fun on the job.
Oh yeah.
It
Sometimes
can
too
get
much.
crazy.
We've had a few
but-
times where customers have come up to us, and I was thinking they were like gonna yell at us. They have, we're having fun on the floor. This couple came up to the counter and were like, "Are you guys always like this at work?" I'm like, yeah. And she was like, "I love it. You guys should have a reality show about you guys." And I was like, oh. Whew. I was worried there for a second.
Some customers do come up and request that we slow it down a bit. You're having too much fun. Like, oh, okay, we'll be back to being miserable. That's okay. All right, okay, we can do that. We can do that. We can do that.
Hey, we
That's
can
what they're
have
used to
fun
at fast
and
food.
do our jobs really
Yeah.
well.
We do.
so.
That's awesome.
Again, George, yep, we want you guys to reach out to us, keep us up to date. So I'm sure people listen to this, they're going to want to stay up to date too. So keep us up to date. Let us know if we can do anything for you or support you. And again, I appreciate all of you guys coming down and doing this. It was great.
Yeah.
And we'd love to have you back. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah,
this has
thank
been
you so
fantastic.
much.
Thank you.
It's time for the Schaefer scale.
That is rancid.
The Schaefer scale.
That's definitely frozen. It's very, very chewy.
Buddy.
That's my favorite.
Oh, I love it. And it sounds just like him, too.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
I did that on the fly.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Want to hear it again?
No.
Coming off of what could be our best interview,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was
we
really
go
great.
right into one of our best segments.
With
Yes.
one of the best people.
Oh, thanks, Michael.
Me.
As we get ready
I'm kidding.
to put food on the Schaefer scale.
Let's do it.
And appropriate food for today.
Yeah, right. So yeah, went to Starbucks on 53rd in Elmore.
Thank you, Roy.
Don't go down the street to the non-union Starbucks with the manager that doesn't support unions. Don't go down to that one. Go to the one at 53rd in Elmore. And what we got here, Lee, we have pumpkin,
Is that his nickname? Pumpkin?
banana,
That's good, too.
chocolate chip cookie because you like your cookies. I mean, I'd almost say you like them better than donuts. And then
I would say yes.
the lemon.
The lemon pound cake.
Lemon looks
It is good. I'd say leave that one for last.
okay.
Looks pretty scrumptious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lee.
Lead the way. Use one to cut and one to sample, and you lead the way, Lee, and we shall follow you.
What's the first one again, Roy?
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin, that's right.
You did that on purpose. My wife and kids say it wrong.
Pumpkin?
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. I understand that.
That's why you did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Lee's trying the pumpkin.
That's really good.
Well, Schaefer scale, though. I mean, really good. What's that equate to?
Wait. I think you should hold it till the end.
Yeah.
Why
Would
don't
you
hold
like
it
a
to the
pen?
end,
Would
and
you like a
then-
pen to write it down?
And then rank each one on the Schaefer scale.
Yeah, so we can be surprised at the end. Because you at least have 3 people listening to this.
You know, he's one of them loud, like, tasters. You're not
A loud taster, huh?
Lee is not going to fool anybody.
Oh, absolutely not.
With what they cook, because you heard it. You heard it, yeah. He put it in as soon as he's like,
How's it, Lee? Or Roy?
It's good.
Yeah.
I think it has some cloves in it. See, I don't do good with the cloves. I'll tell you why. Usually that's part of pumpkin pie.
Yep.
But my mom would take it out and only use like
Nutmeg.
pumpkin spice or something. She wouldn't use cloves, so I'm not a big fan of cloves. But it's very good.
No,
So
Anybody else is eating?
Let's go to the next one. I'm going to try
Okay.
that. I've had that plenty of times. I've not had the next one. So
I'll eat after the show.
Next one is banana.
banana, and I will tell you that's good, but I am going to try that.
Oh, you're going with the top, so you're grabbing some nuts with it.
And you're surprised.
I like how he had to clear his throat to prepare.
That one felt a little forced though, so we'll see.
I can't tell if he was like really savoring, or
he's good,
and
He's
like
good.
really taking it all in.
Do you need to drink your Gatorade to
I
cleanse the
should,
palate a little bit?
yeah. You know, I like how you're taking this seriously.
We should have brought him some sorbet.
Yeah.
So in between each one.
Now, if you want to sniff, you can. Then you can get some coffee beans from Starbucks, and you can cleanse it that way.
That's good, isn't it, Roy? I like banana bread though.
Ironically enough, that's the second time Lee had banana in his mouth today.
Okay.
I think you had a banana for breakfast, didn't you?
Taking this in the wrong direction.
No, he's just saying you had a banana for breakfast.
Yeah, you're a healthy eater.
Okay.
Well,
might be hard to cut that cookie.
If you just take a piece of
Take
it.
a piece of it. You're gonna break off the fork.
Now, see,
Uh-oh.
Oh, see, it is. I was worried because I'm like, is it a crunchy cookie? I'm not a fan of crunchy cookies, but it seemed like it was soft when I got it. But then I just didn't want to leave it on the counter. So put it in the refrigerator.
See, I told you who he sounds like. The her.
Boy, boy, boy.
You're not eating nothing, buddy?
Not right now, friend. Too busy going to go Facebook Live with this. And
That's pretty good too.
Ready?
You lead the way, bud.
Go ahead. You gotta get some of the top of that.
I am this.
You really live in there? I think that's the winner. I think that's the winner just by that.
Maybe we need to change the Schaefer scale by
Yeah, that's really good. Wow.
We really need to invest in some knives.
There are some back there. Oh, there you go, all over the.
That was very good.
That is, yeah. No, that was very delicious.
that was the chair. Come on now.
So
I
how are we
gotta
gonna do this? We're gonna have him reveal them
Yeah, I think you
just
should.
one by one, worst to best.
Well, yeah. How are you going to do this? Are you just going to do a?
I'll just go.
Are you
from
just
the
going
way
to do
we-
in general and just say this one was the, and then just go to the highest ranking one?
Or-
maybe not even give it a ranking, but say this was the highest.
Or are you gonna
ranking.
talk about its qualities and
Yeah, we can do.
how nutty it
Well,
was?
Well, I mean,
I'll start with the cookie.
he's the
You
expert.
gonna start with the cookie?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I had that at a 7.
Why?
It was a good cookie. I mean, I've had better. It was good.
That'll do if you're there.
Would you order it if you were there?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Well, of course. Well, of
what kind of
course.
question's that?
Okay.
I mean,
Is that the only thing he can order, or can he
yeah.
just
I
order
mean,
a
what's
bunch
the
of stuff?
choices? If
I think you could order whatever you wanted.
okay, if there's only one thing I can order,
Well-
I know what I'm ordering.
Okay, so we'll have that question at the end then. We might be able to guess it.
Okay.
What are you doing next?
So the next two I have at a tie.
Okay, and that would be?
That would be the pumpkin and the banana.
And they're at a what?
8.5.
8.5.
8.5, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Got a little kicker there. You got a little half.
So you would recommend people
Yeah.
order those? They're good?
Yeah. That banana or the pumpkin was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
tastes so good when it hits your lips. You know what I mean? Type thing.
Okay, so I
Same
know
with the banana.
So I know the thing everybody's waiting for is the lemon pound.
Lemon's a 10.
10.
10.
10.
That is outstanding.
You don't give too many things 10s.
No, I don't.
So I know Oreo Fluff's there. So
Yeah, that's up there.
My daughter's chocolate chip cookie got a 10.
that's true.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, and
Very
then your Oreo. Yeah, your daughter's Oreo.
The cookie dough
Cookie
dip
dough
or what?
dip.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Yep.
was good.
So it's on par with those things.
Yeah.
That's good to know. So if you could order one thing, I think we know what it is. The lemon.
Let him finish the
Absolutely.
sentence first.
Oh no, he didn't want to.
Yeah,
He's so
I know
excited about
I know
it.
what we're doing here.
He's so excited about it.
You're good.
So I think Lee's recommending when you go to 53rd and Elmore Starbucks to order the lemon pound cake.
Yeah, very good. Very good. I mean, it looks good too.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks good.
Absolutely.
And these portion sizes are pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
for what you're getting, they're pretty good.
So this, when you buy it, this is what you get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
That's good to know, Lee, because that's always been my favorite as well. So
The lemon?
the lemon always.
I'm sure the lady was wondering what I was doing. It's like, I'll take one of that, and one of this, and one of that, and another one of those.
Boy, she's good. It's not like this guy named Lee that comes in here.
Or Sean.
Well, now they can say they've been reviewed on the Schaefer scale.
Yeah.
So that's going to bring business in.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it will.
It could, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. They'll line up around the block.
I know I'm going to go there because you reviewed it, and I'm going to say this was reviewed on Steel Revolution podcast on the Schaefer scale, and so I'm going to order what he tells me to order.
Okay.
And they're going to look at me,
I bet there's people
and
that
they're
do
going to
that.
call the police.
Probably.
I bet there's people that have went to places after we've
Oh, I'm sure they have.
reviewed their
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Their
You think
food.
so?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And so far, there's no lawsuits,
Tens of
so
people.
we're good. We're good.
People,
Tens
yeah.
of people, all the listeners.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Lee. We appreciate that.
Thank you. It's good.
Nobody was talking. You can edit that out.
Yeah, I'm going to.
See, what's good about the pumpkin, I don't have pumpkin very much. Like
Very
a
much,
pumpkin
yeah.
pie or a pumpkin cake or
Oh,
anything
really?
like that. Not,
So it's good
not
to
too
try that
often.
one.
Yeah, it's good though. Yeah. Banana, yeah, I'll eat that every
Yeah.
once in a while.
You can have bananas anytime you want.
Yeah. But
Well, I'll tell you, Lee, if you go there and you want something besides this, their grilled cheese is amazing.
grilled cheese.
I mean, amazing. Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because you wouldn't think so, but
Yeah.
it is amazing.
You a big grilled cheese guy?
Yeah.
Really?
Seriously,
Like, do you
serious,
order it
try
out?
it. I'm dead serious.
Like, do you order
No,
it out?
no, but I make it at home.
Well, I never order it out.
Try
If
it. Both of you, try it.
What makes
once.
it so good?
I don't know. I really don't, but it's good.
Is there, they put other stuff on it?
There's a couple of different cheeses, and I don't know if it's the butter they use. I don't know what it is,
Yeah,
but it is
yeah.
good. So try it. Let me know what you think.
Okay.
Well, if kids put mayonnaise on there, grilled
Yeah, I
cheese.
heard
they
that.
cook it.
Mayonnaise?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Instead of butter.
Yeah, some people do.
I mean, you don't even like mayonnaise.
No, I don't do it.
Some people use it instead of the butter, though, on the
What?
outside. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just never order a grilled cheese because I'm like, anybody can do that.
That's
Why
right.
would
I can get it at home.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would have to be something pretty special.
My kid brought it home one day, and I've had several since then. So
Like if Lee Schaefer said that's a 10 grilled cheese on my scale, I'd be like, oh, maybe I have to go
Oh,
try
that's
that
right.
somewhere.
That's right. Because I know this Starbucks will be sold out of that lemon pound cake for
Right,
months
right,
to
yeah.
come.
Yeah.
Now that Lee said,
Probably by the end of the day.
yeah.
At the very end of the day.
Why did you buy the last one?
So,
No, I mean, once this,
so are you like a food influencer then?
No,
You're
I'm
getting
not.
paid to do this?
No.
You should
Are you guys
embrace-
paying
I
me?
think this is coming.
you
guys
should
should pay
embrace me. You should embrace this. I
Yes.
mean, not me.
Yeah, you should embrace
this.
Roy, like he said.
You should embrace this.
Yeah,
You can
I think
keep
you could
that.
make money off this. No, do not
good.
edit that out.
Oh, not
You should embrace this. You might have another job.
Yeah, so a side hustle at least.
I'll say I won't quit this one just yet.
You know, there's a few other food critics in the Quad Cities. Out to Eat with Leo. You could be. This is
Who's
the
this?
Schaefer. Out to Eat with Leo. You know, he's on Facebook.
I follow him.
Yeah, I do too. He does pizza a lot or other like Mexican food, but I think you got a niche here. You can make some money, and I think we need to create a Facebook page for you.
Your
and
own podcast.
your own podcast, a spin-off of this. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. We're getting so good. We got spin-offs now.
Yeah. Yeah.
We get royalties, though, because we create.
That's right.
First of all, I got to get paid first.
We
before
created
anyone's
you.
getting paid.
We created you.
You'll get
Remember
paid
that.
after we get paid.
That's right. That's right.
You'll just get the crumbs. Ah, see,
That's
so-
good.
I
That's
tell you
good.
what, you really
That was
that guy
good.
really
Good
liked
one.
your joke.
Yes, he did.
George,
Yes,
yeah,
he
he's a
did.
good guy. He laughed.
No, that was a great interview.
Yeah. Really great hearing from him.
Yeah.
Really cool, I thought.
And
you know,
all of them very well spoken.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, really inspiring.
It is.
see
It is.
People
Yeah.
do that. You know.
It's good to hear young people doing that too.
I agree. I agree.
You know, I mean, I think George touched on it. They kind of sometimes get this bad,
Well, and there's so much negative out there towards everything,
Yep.
especially unions.
Yeah.
And for them to pop up and go, no, we want treated better. We want
Right.
better for us. We want better for everybody else. So,
Yeah. And it's nice. I mean, they didn't really come from a union background.
Yep.
And I mean, I think how we've all probably been to classes or whatever talking about, that education. There just isn't as much education as
Yeah.
there needs to be about unions and how it's impacted us, in the last century, and to have people that
Yep.
don't really have a background, it's really cool.
Yep, I agree. Good job putting it together, Roy.
Yeah.
It was one of the easiest interviews to get. I tell you.
Well,
That's the. It's great when people come to you or
Yeah.
Dan Gosa with the Fed lined it up. So, I appreciate him thinking about us when he was talking with them.
Well, and it wasn't hard to pull anything out of them. It was so easy to just talk. And like I said, I think it was our best interview yet.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
So when Dan said it, did he say, hey, do they want to be on Pat's podcast or
No,
no?
he called me.
yeah, the way it should be.
I think that says it right there.
So
Don't you
Pat
think?
wasn't involved?
No.
Okay.
And he won't listen to this, so he won't hear it. So it doesn't matter.
He won't know, yeah.
Oh.
Anyway,
Yeah. It's about that time.
yeah.
Hey, Sean.
Roy, Mike, Lee.
Where can people find us?
Starbucks, 53rd and Elmore.
There you go.
I like it.
There
Thank
go.
you.
Nice.
No, that was a good interview, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find us on our Facebook page at Steel Revolution Podcast USW Local 105. That's a long title for that page.
Yeah.
It is.
It is. We'll work on that maybe. On Apple Podcasts, on their app, on your iPhone, iPad. Do they still have what do they call those things?
iPod?
iPods.
Yeah. Do they still make those? I don't think they do.
They don't make them, but they still work. I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
Have you asked Siri to play us yet? Or,
No.
Lee?
I do it.
No.
I'll do it on my way home tonight.
Yeah.
It works
Yeah.
great.
No, I'll probably listen. I don't normally listen. I might listen to this one. I normally don't listen to it.
Okay. Podcast Addict for Android devices, the Android app, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio app, Spotify app, YouTube, Odyssey app, Libsyn.com, Local's website, and the men's restroom here at Local 105 on Devil's Glen Road.
Put your shot glass up, or not shot glass.
Your pint glass.
Your pint glass
Ooh,
up.
we've graduated.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe we should
We
get
sh- we
shot
could
glass.
do that, yeah.
That would be fun. Like shot of donuts. You can put it in there and some tequila.
Oh, I
or
think I
something,
have a
some
good
rum.
idea for a logo.
Oh, I
on
think
that.
they have tequila, or not tequila, vodka that.
Yep.
Tastes like
Yep,
donuts?
they do.
Yeah.
They do.
Do you know that?
Of course he does. Don't ask stupid
Man,
questions.
I'm sorry, Lee.
He
But
looks
yeah.
like he's tried it.
He's holding back right now.
He is.
He's holding back.
It's all
Haven't
right.
I danced around enough for you guys today? We gotta keep it going.
You did a good job, though.
It's never
Yeah,
enough.
no, it's good. It's never.
You were very professional. You see, you're sooner or later you might get your own spinoff. I mean, you get
Hey, just
better.
think of us, though, okay? Of the
Yeah,
little
please
people.
do. Please do.
Okay.
But since we won't see everybody before the 4th of July, have a happy and safe 4th of July.
Yep.
Stay hydrated. Stay cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And while you're doing all that, don't forget to say something good about your union.
Every day.
See ya.
Later.
Bye.
Steel Revolution is a podcast by USW Local 105, Bettendorf, Iowa.